are. Good morning, buddy. Friday morning, the 16th of October. Well, it's my nephew's birthday. Wow, you know what? Let's wish him a happy birthday live right now. Oh, good morning. All right, let's do this. Let's do a live birthday message this instant. This is how we do things around here. Well, not all the time. This is sometimes how we do things. On someone's birthday, it's important to celebrate. It's a big day. So we send out a quick message, and I'll call them later. At least this way, any of you watching who know this person can be reminded that it's their birthday also. All right, here we go. 2 seconds. Here we go. Done. All right, now, today, it's Friday. We're going to do a little bit more advanced stretches, okay? So we're going to do stuff down here on the floor, and we're going to do a little bit standing up. So there might be some fiddling with the whole camera halfway through. We'll see how we feel. But for now, we're going to do some stuff down here. Now, it's not going to be quite the same as we always do. I know we always focus, one area at a time, but a lot of these are some compound stretches that involve a lot of different parts of your body. If you are not able to achieve these things, that's fine. We do the best we can. Like I said, we're going to do them slowly, walk you through it, try to give you alternative versions. That might be a little bit easier for you, but if not, we do the best we can, and we'll get there. Someday you will get there. Don't worry about it, okay? So, first thing we're going to work on a little bit the back and the glutes. So we're going to do what's called the glute stretch. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to start off, you got to picture it like this, right? So picture sitting like this. And then you remove this outer leg, right? So now we have this leg on the ground, this leg behind it. So you see, I have the bottom of my foot on the top of my leg. Okay? Now, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to gently ease ourselves down so that the knee is in the middle of the chest. Okay? So the outer elbow will definitely be easier. And this guy, this is where a lot of it's going to be tough. So we're going to come down and we've got to just relax into that stretch. Remember, we're not pushing down. Right? We're relaxing into that stretch. And we just sink into it. Now, if you see my back is slightly bent, right? But if you were paying attention, which I know you were, because you always pay attention, you guys. Right? My back was straight up until the point I had to bend it, right? So this whole motion, your back should be straight. So make sure your arms are supporting your back. Okay, and down we go. Good. And the second one was a little bit more stretched out. Perfect. Just like that, we relax into that stretch, right? We don't fight it, we don't resist. Relax. Perfect. Good job. Now we do the other side. And so just switch it around. Right? Same setup. Okay. Arms down. Perfect. Then we relax into that stretch. Now, if you're hydrated, you should have already had your water and maybe your coffee. I definitely had both because, well, the reality is I'm going to be down here on the ground spinning around and doing all kinds of things. I figured it's guaranteed that I'm going to knock it over. So let's start by finishing it and getting them out of the way. Okay, here we go. Second one. You ready? There we go. Nice. And again, we relax into that stretch. And you're going to feel it along the glute. So essentially, the outer portion of your quote-unquote cheek. Let's be classy about it. But good. Perfect. Good job. You're doing great. It's that easy, right? So now, next one we're going to work on. Okay, we're going to work on this region right here. Your groins and your hips and your lower back. Okay, so here's where we're going to start off trying to get our feet together. And as you can see, I have flexibility issues in this portion because of the sports. And when I was young, I didn't take care of it. So now I'm not super duper flexible. But that's why we work on this. So the idea is you start off, bring your feet in, and we relax this section of the groin, okay? So just relax into that. Good. Perfect. Now what we're going to do, and now that we're into this position, we're going to, one leg at a time, gently stretch it down. Right. So I'm gently pushing down here. Now, gentle. You're relaxing into that stretch, right? So you should not be pushing yourself into pain. You should be relaxed, and we're pushing that leg down. Right? That's a passive stretch. So you see, it's not going a lot, right? Just, it's that much, right? It's not a lot. But the little extra that we do will help us progressively get deeper and deeper into these stretches. But you have to do it passively. So in other words, you have to have a relaxed leg when you do this. But it goes to show, guys, listen, you don't take care of things, this is what happens, right? So now that we stretched out this area, the next we're going to do is actually our lower back. So again, first time you're allowed to do this, you're going to reach down, and you're going to grab your toes, and you're going to bend down and bending your back, rounding it, right? And you're stretching now. You're going to feel it in the groin also, and the lower back. Good. Nice and calm, right? We relax into that stretch. So once we get that pose, we relax. So you might have some challenges getting into poses, right? But once you get there, that's when you're like, okay, I got it. Now I relax into it, all right? Good. Perfect. Just like that. So now we have this whole hip section region nice and stretched out, okay? Now we're going to do the child's pose, which of course we've done before many times, and it's great. So if you have back issues, child pose, that's your friend, right? So on your hands and knees, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to sit back onto your heels, now with our flexed and stretched out hips and groins, and you're going to lower your head down so that you have a nice ramp, right? So like you're building a ramp. You got a little kid that's got to walk down your back. Right? There we go. And we relax into that stretch. Nice. Some big deep breaths, right? Good. Now, if you have a bit of an issue coming back, so you can only come back so far, you can adjust by lowering your hands, okay? But we try to get down as far as we can. So now we're going to do a second time. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to push it a little bit more, okay? So we're going to relax into the stretch. So now as you relax, all of this is going to loosen. It's been tightened, kind of resisting, right? So you're going to use your hands, and you're going to finger walk yourself back and get a little bit deeper stretch. And relax. Good. Very nice. Right? So what we're doing is we're not pushing ourselves into pain. What we're doing is we're encouraging our body and pushing a little bit more to get a bit of a deeper stretch, just so we can advance to where we are. Right? Because let's say you can only stretch, I'll use an example. Let's say my arm can only come up to here because my muscles are tight. If I don't come up to here and then just try a little bit, once a week we try, then you're not really going to advance all that much. You're only ever going to get to here, right? As a kid who only ever counts to 10, what are you going to do? You're never going to hit 11 if you always stop at 10, right? So you got to keep taking small steps. I mean, you don't have to go crazy, but small steps. So now we're going to work on the shoulder, okay? So we're going to keep our body nice and straight, right? Now, it's not a plank, okay? You don't have to plank yourself up. That's a little bit ridiculous, okay? Just relax. Just keep yourselves in alignment. So your hips are straight to the ceiling. Good. Now, with your hand, we are going to Do some shoulder circles, right? Just like this. Now, if you notice, my hand, my wrist, there's no movement in the wrist, right? Let the arm rotation dictate how your arm is going to be. So don't try to force your palm this way, because when you get to about here, you're going to run into some problems, okay? So you just comfortably, the shoulder knows what it's supposed to do. You let it do its thing. Good. Now we'll do our arbitrary 10. And those of you who have been following the channel, why do we choose 10? Just because it's a nice round number. No reason more important than that. So if you can only do, if you start to get tired at about 7 or 8, that's fine. 7 or 8 it is. No problem. Now, traditionally, I would just roll over and do the other side. So you can just roll over and do the other side. But of course, if I do that, your main show is going to be my rump. And nobody's interested in seeing that on a Friday morning, right? So let's go to this side. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. Doing great. Nice. Now remember, as we're doing this, we're not just swinging, okay? We're trying to keep it aligned. So if you notice, I'm tapping my ear whenever I come down, right? So we're reaching. Let's go slower. Let's reach. For those of you who may be not used to this one, okay? You're here. You reach out. So now you're trying to touch your toes with your finger, right? Keeping your body straight so your arm is doing the reach. Now you reach up. When you come up, keeping your arm aligned. Bring it down. So you see I'm close to my, touching my ear. And then I let that arm come in. And so I'm reaching all the way until I pull that arm back in. So I'm getting a big rotation, right? So that's why you see my fingers spread all the time, right? Good. All right. Perfect. Good job. So now we're going to do a Cobra stretch, okay? So I'm going to go back into this position just because there's a lot more mat here, you know what I mean? My legs are, I'm too huge for most of this. I have to have like a custom mat for giants like me. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to lay down relatively flat with your hands properly next to you. Now, if he's uncomfortable, if you have wrist mobility issues, and this is uncomfortable, you can do it this way if you like, okay? The idea is that you're nice and stable. And all you're going to do, using your arms, you're going to bend your back. Now do it slow, because again, these are advanced stretches. So if you are not at a stage where your back is very flexible yet, be careful. And we have to be relaxed in this, okay? The only thing that should be working hard should be the arms. So we're doing a passive stretch on our spine. Okay, ready? Take your time. Deep breath. Relax. Good. Now, we raise our shoulders up. All right? And we try to do this. So like a snake, right? That Cobra stretch. Don't force it. You're not forcing your neck as high as you can go. Just try to get up here. Good. Just like that. Easy, right? Not so bad. All right, ready for another one? Okay, here we go. And you just get up there. Nice. And we relax, remember. Always relax into that stretch. That's it. Now you got it. Perfect. We're doing great, guys. You're doing fantastic. All right. Now, we're going to stretch out the legs, right? Especially, we're going to work on, it's going to be the front of the hip. So you have hip flexors in the front also that need to be stretched out. A lot of times you think hips only go this way, right? But they go backwards too as we walk, right? So we're going to stretch that out. We're going to stretch out your quads, okay? So here's what we're going to do. So hands and knees. But if you see I'm a little bit more tucked than usual, okay? Now there's a reason for it. Because now you see almost like a child's pose, right? But hold on. Here we go. You ready? We're going to take this leg back. There we go. Right? And now we're going to sink into that. Good. Right? Now, if you don't have enough room to stretch out more, right, we want that leg as straight as it can be, right? So you got to make sure you adjust. Right? Nice. There we go. Good. And notice I'm keeping my knee off the ground. Don't do this because now you have no stretch, right? Reaching with our toes. Good. All right, other side. Remember, we're reaching with our toes, trying to get our toe as far as we can go. I have a wall in my way. If you do not, right, and then we're just going to stretch that area out. I have one leg that's way more flexible than the other, as usual. Right, so I got to adjust to really get that stretch in. Good. Now remember, you shouldn't be feeling pain. It shouldn't be a stretch to the point where you have trouble doing it. Right? But you want to know that you're stretching yourself out. Right? So, nice. Good job. So, not easy. Now, a lot of times what you're going to do, especially with this stretch, you're going to be in this position. And you don't really feel it, right? Because your body's not doing too badly. So you want to maybe sink your bum down a bit. But where you're going to feel it is when you bring your leg back. You'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. There, now I feel it. So that's how that's going to go. Perfect. So listen, we're doing great. We're already almost done. Now we're going to do, this is the cat stretch. You ready? So here's what you're going to do. Like, yeah, you see this cat stretch, right? They do this, and they curl their back. Right? But now as you come down, here's what you're going to do. You're actually going to bring it down a bit. Right? And we go slow. Do not do these fast, guys, because you do these fast, you can create a lot of snapping. Right? We don't want to do that. Good. Nice. Now we're not going to do 10 of these, right? Just do a few. There we go. That's good. So you should feel that you're being stretched out. And you will know if you're doing these on your own, aim for about 5 of those. Because it's a big motion and it's very slow and long, just do about 5. Don't do 10. 10 will start to tire you out. And that's not what we want, right? We don't want the stretches to be exhausting to you. Yes, these are a little bit more advanced, a little bit harder to achieve those positions, but don't feel that you need to really push it that hard. Oh, who is it? Hey, bon matin! Right on. Okay, so now we've done a lot of stretches already. We're almost done actually, but I'm glad you're here. And like I said, we're gonna do these every day. So Friday is the more advanced stuff. So really check if you're just tuning in now, Kevo, definitely rewatch this video and go back because we've done a whole bunch of stuff up till now, and all really, really good stuff. All right. So now we're gonna work on the hamstrings. Now we're going to do something a little bit tricky, so get yourself a towel. Okay? So, hamstring stretches, as you know, we don't want pressure on the knee, right? It has to be connected, so you need to have a straight back, and we have to feel that connection from the 2 insertion points, right? So we get that whole length of that section stretched out. Now, what we've done before, obviously, right? We've done these, and we've stretched down, okay? Now we're going to push it a little bit. So this is where you really need to focus on keeping that back straight. We're going to take a towel or anything, right? Like I use a towel, but honestly, you can use anything that'll help you reach, okay? I'm going to tie it around the bottom of the foot. So now, this is where you have to be careful because we're going to push ourselves a little bit. So we're going to try to encourage ourselves to stretch a little bit deeper. Do not let your back bend. If you let your back bend, you're going to disengage the back portion of this hamstring and you're going to put the pressure on the knee. We do not want that, okay? So I'll do the towel only because most people have a towel more than that. Right? So, towel first. We get our back straight. Right? There we go. And what you're doing is you're not, so two things. There's two stages. One, if you have a towel that's too big, see how it's forcing that knee to bend? If your towel is too short, get a bigger towel. Right? Start with your knees straight. Right? Because we don't have to try to push that knee down. Okay? Like my towel, too short. Right? That's how I know to tell you that. Exactly. Right. So I'll use this. So I can start straight. Good. Now my back is straight. So already just having that back straight, I can feel my hamstring being stretched. Now using this, I'm going to encourage myself to pull a little bit more forward. So what I'm doing is I'm leaning my upper body forward and pulling the length of this. Right? So I'm not pulling up on the foot. I'm not pushing the knee down. I'm leaning the top of my body forward, and that's pulling the length of the whole thing. Good. Perfect. Good job. We're almost there. 2 more exercises to go. This is exciting though, Cowboy. This is like the first time we've had 2 people write something in the chat. This is exciting. All right, so here we go. Remember, nice and slow. Now, leg out here, leg here. It's not really all that relevant because you're going to feel that hamstring stretch anyway. So wherever you're comfortable, okay? Now we start off. Remember, back straight, knees straight. Now we're already feeling that tension. And now we pull ourselves forward slightly. Good. Now we're getting a deeper hamstring stretch. And remember, once we get here, we're not pulling, we're not forcing, right? We get it, we feel a bit of a deeper stretch, and we relax into that stretch. So the idea when you're doing these more advanced stretches is not to push and keep pushing, okay? It's to, let's say, do a little, like 10%, right? So like I said, you count to 10, we go to 11 on these. That's what we're doing. So we don't want to push ourselves and continuously push ourselves. So, again, I'll show you, right? So, now, we feel our regular stretch that we do whenever we do these on our own, right? And now we're going to encourage a little bit of a deeper pull. Perfect. Now, once I relax into the stretch, don't keep pulling down, right? The idea is not to bounce. It's to get there, we're a little bit deeper, and relax. Because what's going to happen is we're going to make this 11 is eventually going to be our new 10, right? We're going to make this as our point where we can do this easily. So that's what we're encouraging. We're not trying to test our limits. We're trying to expand them so that our new limit is a little bit later on. All right, here we go. Last one, other side. Again, this leg is really just to keep it out of the way. You can do a hamstring stretch with your leg down if you like. But I feel this helps concentrate on one side a little bit. Right? There we go. Now if you see, guys, just to show you, you see I'm down in the middle of my foot. I just thought about this now. Don't put it up at your toes. Because putting it up on my toes pulls my foot, you see. And you don't want that. You just want a good anchor for your foot. Okay, so don't pull your toes up. Perfect. Good job. All right, so now we've done a lot. We're going to do one last stretch. We'll call it a day. This one you got to stand up for-ish. Now, obviously, I'm not going to stand up completely because, well, my head's going to be cut off. The problems of being a giant, it's not all it's cracked up to be, I promise you. People always wish they were taller. Don't. It's nothing but trouble. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. With a minimal kind of a squat, I'm going to describe what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to spread our legs wide as if we're trying to do the splits. As wide as we can comfortably get. Not everyone can get there, and that's fine. And then we're going to keep in our back straight. We're going to bend forward and stretch, reaching down for the ground. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So, bring the legs wide. Now, it should be, well, I got this thing in the way, stupid exercise bike. Now, it should be comfortable. So you should feel a small stretch. But you should be comfortable, and your toes are facing forward, right? If we turn our toes outward, we're going to hurt our hips. So it should be comfortable. It should be a position you can hold for a relatively long time without too much discomfort in the groin area, okay? Now, my back is straight. Your back should be straight. Good. And we're just going to let ourselves sink down. You need to feel it deepen, really deep here. Good. And our back is stretched. See, so you're almost touching the ground. Now, as we get better at this, obviously we'll be better. Remember, we relax into that stretch, right? Yeah, it's, you know, it's not easy, especially with a guy like me. So I grew up with the mentality of hockey, football, and a guy got to be macho. So we worked on muscles and strength and all this stuff, not flexibility. I wish I knew now what I knew when I was 20. Wait, that's not right. I wish I knew now when I was 20. How does this sound? Anyway. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. All right, we pull it in. Excellent. So that's it, everybody. Those are our Friday. A little bit more advanced stretching. How was that for everyone? I hope you all... yeah, the stupid... I know the exercise bike is always in the way. Always in the way. But, you know, we need it. So, yeah. Friday stretch is a little bit more advanced, a little bit more challenging, right? So remember, when you do these harder positions, right, we get into that pose and then we relax it. So even if you need to work to get into that pose, right, you know, not maybe so easy to stretch one way or the other, you get into that pose, and then once you're there, deep breath and you relax into the stretch, right? You don't push the stretch. All right. So just like that, guys, I know we're done. So have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Try to enjoy some of the weather as much as you can. Walk around, get some fresh air. Stay away from people because it's like a zombie apocalypse, right? So don't let them near you, those COVID monsters. But yeah, enjoy your time. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you back here on Monday, all right? Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.